also changing subject a little, what is next for Sergey Lipinets? How far are we seeing him into a possibly welterweight contender for a belt?
Well, I think he is a welterweight contender. I think he's #1 contender in the WBO by virtue of that belt he won the other night. It's like winning the NABF, or somebody puts you in the #1 contender position. So he is already in the top 10, but I think he's the #1 contender in the BO. That said, that doesn't mean that he has to go in that direction. You know, he's with PBC. PBC's got all of the welterweights. I think there's a definite opportunity for Lipinets to get in the mix there with the guys that are already fighting and being eliminated as we speak. Omar Figueroa got eliminated the other night. Keith Thurman got set back the other night. Manny Pacquiao rose. We're going to find out with Spence and Porter who gets set back and who goes up. We got Danny Garcia, who beat, I'll remember in a minute, who just won his fight. And against Granados, Adrian Granados. It was a stunning knockout. Garcia looked great in it. So there's a lot of eliminating here. Molina was supposed to fight Lipinets, pulled out at the last minute, last minute replacement. But still, Lipinets moved forward by knocking out the Pacquiao fighter, who was scheduled to fight that night. It was not like he just came off a bus stop. That guy was 18-2, if I'm not mistaken, 12 knockouts, and he was training at Freddie's gym along with the Pacquiao team. So they thought they were going to be in that fight. You know, he's 5'10", he was a southpaw, went backwards, completely different than Molina. So we had to make some really late, last-minute adjustments. And to knock that kid out in the second round he had never been stopped before. So Lipinets really was a big feather in his cap. So he's right in the mix right now.
And last two more questions. How do you assess the Errol Spence and Sean Porter fight? Do you think that this is finally the fight that will show what type of fighter Errol Spence is? Like somebody who could push him to the limits? And also the last question also is, would you recommend Manny Pacquiao to take the fight against Errol Spence next if Spence comes out victorious?
Let's talk about the first, we're talking about Sean Porter and Errol Spence, and is Errol Spence this or that? Errol Spence is a great fighter, okay, there's no doubt about it. At a little bit more difficulty, he's a southpaw as well. He can press and he can box. He's a multifaceted guy. Now, on the other hand, he didn't take out Mikey Garcia, who's a much smaller man. And it's stretching to say he's a 40-pounder. He's probably best at 35 right now. Never really hurt Mikey, never wobbled him, never dropped him. So that's something to be said about Mikey, okay? But it also says something about Errol. So that's a little deduction against Errol. Many great qualities he has, I'm going to not check that box there until proven otherwise. Now, he's stopped a lot of other guys that are bigger than Mikey. Why didn't he stop Mikey? That's a big question. Now, that said, you look at Ugas' fight the other night. Dennis
Ugas.
Dennis. Now, he thoroughly destroyed Omar. Omar looked like he still belongs at 140 though. But on the other hand, if you look at Ugas, you're going, oh, that's the one bad dude. He's big for 47. He looks like a junior middleweight. He's a good counter puncher, and he's really smart. He's got a high IQ in the ring. But Sean Porter beat him. Now, you might say, oh, it was a disputed decision. Okay, did he do any of that to Sean Porter? No. He did not impose his will necessarily on Porter. And Porter fought a completely contrary stylistic fight than he would normally as a pressure fighter that he is. But it showed Sean's versatility. And So, and he offset Ugas in a lot of ways. So I do not sell Sean Porter short at all. He always seems to surprise his opponents. He's a little bit better than people give him credit for. So I see this as a very competitive fight. I do not see Errol Spence blowout here like some people might be thinking. I don't know, maybe they aren't thinking that. But I've heard a few people think that. I think that this is going to be an extraordinarily competitive fight. You can't underestimate guys that are world champions. They got there for a reason. Okay? The other thing is, they talk about the bigger man. Well, Sean Porter fought at like 75 as an amateur. He's used to fighting big guys and dealing with them. And if you've seen Sean up close and personal, he's a real wide body. He's a strong guy. He may be smaller in terms of height, but he's a strong guy. I don't underestimate him. I think he's going to be in this fight. I think both men are at the top of their game right now, and I think the fans are going to really witness an exceptional fight with these two guys in there. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think I'm also calling the fight, which makes it even better for me. I'm going to have a great seat.
Absolutely.
And I get to talk about it while the fight's going on.